Happy Easter. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and well, we talked about Easter and how Jesus suffered, bled, was persecuted, the things he went through, the piercing of his hands, his head, his side, his hands. We know why he did it, for redemption. We know that it was part of his plan from creation. But there's something that most people miss through this holiday season. Today's Friday, it's Good Friday, and people wonder what's good about it. He was turned in, he was stabbed in the back by one of his good friends, Judas. But he knew from the beginning of time that Judas would do that. He still chose Judas. Now, Judas had free will. He had weaknesses like the rest of us, and Lord knows we have them. I know I do. But one important thing is Jesus stood by Judas. He stood by Judas when he knew Judas would hurt him, be the instrument of his death. He stood by Judas when he knew he was stealing. He was stealing the money from the treasurer. He was entrusted with the few funds that they got on the road to help them buy a few things that they needed, and probably mostly buy a lot for others in their travels. Why did he stand by Judas? People say, well, it had to be. Well, yes, it had to be. Judas had to do what he did, or else the Lord would not have redeemed us through the cross. But most of all, he was teaching us a lesson to stand by others, to not walk away from the important things. Many times I hear people talk about, well, I used to be Catholic. I used to believe in Christ. I used to be Christian. And when it comes to Catholics, I tell them, I know priests do stupid things, evil things at times. Very few priests do the evil things. But they're human, and that doesn't excuse the evil that they do. And it doesn't excuse the stupid things that we all do. We're human. We choose to be those things. We are not forced to do them, and sometimes it's out of ignorance. But we should not walk away from those that hurt us. Your mom, your dad, your wife, your brother, your sister, your children. You can't give up on them. Jesus did not give up on Judas. Judas gave up on himself. When the Catholic Church hurts somebody, I tell them, don't give up on it. When people give up on Christianity because of things that happen in life, death, anger, pain, don't give up on it. God gave us Christianity through Judaism. That's why they call it Judeo-Christianity. He had the perfect plan for us. We choose not to go with that plan. So when he knew that Judas would turn him in, he knew these next 3 days would be more than a living hell. Crucifixion was not invented by the Romans. I believe it was the Syrians or the Turks. I don't remember. But I do know they perfected it. They perfected it to the point that you suffocated. You didn't die of lack of blood, nutrition, torture. You suffocated. It's why they broke the thief's legs. They weren't dead. It's why they didn't break Christ's legs. He was dead. He was tortured to the point where he barely stayed alive on that crucifix. So they didn't break his legs. They knew he was dead. Just to make sure, they stabbed him in the side. But the reason they broke the men's legs in crucifixion, it was, one, they had to be buried by dark. It was a Jewish law. If they were Jews, they had to have them down and off. And of course, they probably didn't want to stick around at nighttime anyhow. They had enough of it. Crucifixions used to last for weeks, but when they wanted it to end, they broke their legs. Because with your legs broken, you could not. It was almost impossible standing up on those legs just to take a breath, just to get air into your diaphragm, To push that carbon monoxide out, you had to stand up on your feet. Push yourself up to take that every breath. If they broke your legs, you would not be able to do that. It would be so excruciating pain. It was impossible with broken legs. So you suffocated. Jesus knew the tortures he was to endure. He gave his life. We did not take it. He laid it down, and he laid it down freely, as he says in the Bible. He died for us. He bled out through his feet, through his hands, through his side, the crown, 3-inch thorns through his skull. Painful, painful process, and he knew in advance. I ask you, why did he do it? One word sums up these whole 3 days, from this moment when Judas is turning him in to the point of his last excruciating breath. And then, of course, the suffocation he went through. Hold your breath for 4 minutes. You can't do it. You can barely do it for 2 before you feel like your head's going to explode out of a lack of oxygen. What is that one word? Most people say redemption, forgiveness. Well, those are the reasons. Those are the effects of what he did. One word to tell us why he did it. It's love. He did it out of pure, self-sacrificing, selfless love. People look at love, the word, I love this, I love that, I love her, I love him, I love that. I love these things. What's the definition? The true definition of love is self-sacrifice, putting one's own emotions, thoughts, and desires ahead of others. When you get married, you die to yourself. You love the other in selfless sacrifice. No selfishness can be within the boundaries of love. No desires for yourself in the boundaries of love. All love is outside of oneself. It's given to another. Lay their life down if need be. Most people would lay their life down for their children, for their loved ones. But do you really know what that means? To lay your life down, to give the rest of your life to somebody without your own. As a man and wife, you love each other so, you're supposed to love each other so exclusively that you have no desires of your own. Your desires are for the desires for the others and back. That's how you become one. You don't become one with your desires and their desires, and you do your desires. Your desires are to be bound in one. She forgets her desires, he forgets his, and your desires become one together, only through the death of your own. Jesus chose love to the point that not only did he know everybody he was doing this for, he saw them individually. He saw you and only you on that crucifix because of love. One word describes why we came into creation, why he created us, what we're here for, and what we are to do, and what we are to become for eternity. All summed up. One word, 4 letters. Love. May God bless you.